mom forced me to have a baby. Don't miss out on the fun. Hit subscribe button and join our community for more stories like this one. I haven't really told anyone this, but it's been really getting to me lately. It's so absurd, but it really is just further proof of her will to completely destroy me. I'm 23 female, my mom is 41 female. In 2014 she found out that I was planning on never having children of my own. She asked me why, and I told her it was because I had spent my entire life so far raising kids, and I didn't want that for my future. My mom got really mad at that, and for months she and my dad would try and convince me to change my mind. They both denied that I had essentially raised at least 3 of my younger siblings with very little help from either them. And they both believed that it was a sin for me not to do what God put me on this earth to do. After months of holding my ground, lots therapy sessions, which my parents refused to join by the way, and more than a handful of attempts at forcing me into marriage and baby making, my parents realized that there was no way that I was going to have my own kids. My mom even tried to make me just sleep with a guy. Even though my parents are strict Muslims and would kill me for even talking to a boy without them present. Then my mom came up with the brilliant idea to give them a grandchild until my 21st birthday, or she would give birth to a baby for me to raise. I thought she was bluffing. She kept reminding me of her promise until my birthday, but it seemed to me like she was just joking and taunting me. My birthday came and went, and I had completely forgotten about my mom's threats, and she stopped talking about it. Until around 3 months after my birthday, when she announced to the family that she was pregnant. 3 months pregnant. I was in shock, but I still hadn't made the connection to her previous threat. I did notice that she only made passive remarks at how it should have been me having the baby, but I didn't really think about it. During her pregnancy, she got nothing ready for the baby. She kept joking that she wasn't going to buy anything for the baby, because it was my baby and I had to buy the baby's things for he or her. Again, stupidly I thought she was joking, until it was a week from the baby's due date, and there was nothing ready for the baby. No cot, no clothes, no car seat, no bottles, no blankets, nothing. And just like the perfect daughter mommy and daddy raised, I ended up just bending to her will, and buying literally everything for that baby, except for 3 pieces of clothing my mom and sister bought for her. I figured the baby was almost here and the only one I would be hurting by not playing along was the baby. So I did what my mom wanted finally. I was there for the birth. I bought everything the baby ever needed. I changed diapers, I changed clothes, I did bottle feeding, I did the nighttime routine, I soothed the baby whenever she cried, took care of her laundry, tracked her development and health. I did everything that baby needed. Mom just did the occasional breastfeed and nap. I was exhausted. I did everything on top of working full-time and literally got less than 3 hours of sleep a night. I was a zombie. Want to know the dumbest part? I never made the connection until after baby was like 3 months old and finally sleeping through the night, and I was looking over the paperwork for her pregnancy. The pediatrician had asked for some of the OB notes and paperwork, and I just had to read through, and I realized the noted conception date was the day after my birthday. I finally remembered what my mom had said, and I honestly can't look at that baby the same way anymore. Anyway, now I am trapped. I can't leave/move out because I know my parents will make sure I never see any of the kids again, and to be honest, I don't trust them to raise the kids without hurting them. My parents neglected me, and my siblings physically and sexually assaulted me, and are extremely emotionally manipulative. Not to mention the fact that they don't know anything about how to look after the baby. They haven't even given her a bath or feed without help or without me laying out everything that's needed. My parents won for now, and they know it. Here's hoping they decide one lesson is enough. Comments. I'm trying to restrain myself from typing something out of anger. I felt my blood boiling as soon as I read OP caved and bought everything for the baby. Just up and leave. Screw them. This is extremely toxic and you have to watch out for yourself first. Sticking around with a family like that, it's only going to get worse. It'll be a lifetime of abuse. You really need to call CPS. They are abusing all of you. The baby is not your responsibility, it is your mother's. Is there any family you could move in with? This is such a toxic situation, OP. You need to get out. For the love of God, please stand up for yourself and leave these people who call themselves your family. Do you want to live a life where you're controlled by a freaking child and psychopathic parents who dictate your reproductive and romantic rights as a human? This is not a situation you can let go on for another year or even 6 months. It will not get better. I've seen this happen before in families even less religious. You will become the family slave and caretaker unless you break this cycle now. At this point, just cut your losses with your family and go. I wouldn't even call them family at this point. Everything they've done for you from what you've said has been to nothing but your detriment. Even your own survival instincts are telling you to get the fuck out. You should consider listening to that voice in your head. Ultimately, you need to decide what the safest steps are for you to take. This situation is horrifying, extreme abuse. I'm definitely with everyone else telling you that you should do whatever you can to get out, but I know it's not always that easy. Are you in a position where you're able to work towards getting away though? You're 23. Do you have a job earning money that you keep and they can't access? Do you have a license and or access to a car you own? Do you have access to your documents, birth certificate, passport, etc.? And are you able to or currently seeking therapy? You need to get out like everybody says. That's just it. These kids are not your kids. They have 2 fully grown parents. If they get neglected, then you just need to call the authorities on them. If you normalize this, you're going to be stuck for the rest of your life. Please get out and let them figure this out for themselves. Jesus Christ, what the fuck is this? Having a baby just to spite and blackmail someone. This is the sickest thing I read on here. I'm so sorry that you were put in this situation. I know you feel some kind of responsibility for that baby, but you need to get out of this. There is nothing good that will come of you staying there. This is a cult and a prison. These people should be nowhere near any children. You need to report this to the authorities, all of it, everything they did to you and everything they are doing now. This is one of the most horrible stories I've read here. This is extortion. She's using the health and welfare of the baby and the other children to keep you as a slave. Subscribe and hit the bell button for the best Reddit stories available.